Lagos isn't for Lagosians anymore. That's the shocking reality in Nigeria's most famous city, a place built by its own people, now priced out of their own streets. For millions, the dream of living in Lagos has turned into a daily battle of survival. Rent prices in key Lagos neighborhoods like Lekki, Ikoyi, and Victoria Island have jumped by more than 80% in just 5 years. A two-bedroom apartment in Lekki that cost 1.5 million naira annually in 2018 now goes for over 3 million naira. Meanwhile, the average salary in Nigeria remains around 420,000 naira per year, or just 35,000 naira per month for many workers, barely enough to cover food, transport, and school fees, let alone housing. By contrast, foreign investors, wealthy elites, and even expatriates are buying up entire apartment blocks, driving up prices and displacing local tenants. The problem isn't just rising rent. It is a deeper struggle over ownership and belonging. Who really gets to live in Lagos? Behind the crowded roads, the glittering skyline, and the unrelenting hustle is a quiet crisis. Families being pushed out to the outskirts, small businesses forced to shut down, and whole neighborhoods changing overnight. In Surulere and Yaba, areas once known for affordable housing, landlords are converting family homes into short-let apartments for Airbnb, pricing out long-term tenants who have lived there for decades. To understand how Lagos reached this point, you have to rewind. Once a collection of fishing villages and trading posts, Lagos became Nigeria's commercial capital after independence in 1960. The discovery of oil in the 1970s accelerated its growth, bringing a flood of rural migrants in search of work. By the 1990s, Lagos was already bursting at the seams. Yet it wasn't until the early 2000s that a new kind of migration reshaped the city: global capital. Foreign investors, banks, and developers saw Lagos not just as a place to live, but as a market to exploit. With weak regulations, little rent control, and no affordable housing schemes, the stage was set for an urban crisis. Today, land and housing in Lagos are treated less like shelter and more like currency. Developers focus on luxury estates in Lekki, Banana Island, and Victoria Island, with units priced in dollars and marketed to foreign buyers. A 3-bedroom apartment in Banana Island now sells for over 600 million naira, far beyond the reach of most Lagosians. Meanwhile, working families are left scrambling for space in overcrowded suburbs like Ikorodu, Maui, and Sango Oda, areas that mean 2 to 4-hour commutes into the city every day. Government policies that were meant to attract foreign investment end up favoring developers over residents, widening the gulf between rich and poor. The human cost is clear. Take Kemi, a 32-year-old schoolteacher earning 70,000 naira a month. For years, she rented a modest 1-bedroom in Surulere close to her school. But last year, her landlord sold the property to a developer who converted the building into short-let apartments marketed to business travelers. Unable to afford new rent hikes, Kemi now lives in Ikorodu, waking up at 4:30 a.m. each morning to beat the traffic and still often arriving late to her classroom. Her students notice her exhaustion, but for Kemi, there is no choice: either endure the grind or leave Lagos altogether. Ademola, a 45-year-old small business owner, tells a similar story. His family had run a provisions shop in Yaba for 2 generations. Then, in 2021, the building was demolished to make way for a new luxury mall. Promised relocation never came. Today, Ademola operates a makeshift stall on the roadside, earning less than half of what he once did, while wealthy residents drive past him into the air-conditioned boutiques that replaced his family's livelihood. These are not isolated cases. In Mushin, whole blocks of tenants have been evicted without adequate notice. In Makoko, one of the world's largest floating slums, families live under the shadow of eviction as developers eye the waterfront for commercial projects. The Lagos state government insists it is modernizing the city, but modernization for whom? The ripple effects spread far beyond housing. Workers who can't afford to live near their jobs spend hours each day stuck in traffic, reducing productivity and quality of life. Children grow up in unstable homes, switching schools whenever families are forced to move. Local culture and community, markets, street corners, shared histories, are displaced by sterile glass towers and gated estates. The city risks becoming what many fear, a playground for the wealthy, hollowed of the people who gave it life. The statistics back up these fears. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, Lagos now has a housing deficit of over 3 million units. Nigeria as a whole faces a housing shortfall of more than 22 million homes. Yet the bulk of new construction in Lagos targets the high-end market, leaving ordinary workers behind. The World Bank estimates that 70% of Lagos residents live in informal settlements, often without secure tenure. For them, the threat of displacement is constant. And yet, Lagos continues to draw people in. Every day, thousands arrive from other states, chasing opportunity. The city's population, now estimated at over 20 million, is projected to double by 2050. But if rents keep rising faster than incomes, the very people who power the city's informal economy, drivers, teachers, vendors, artisans, will be pushed further away from its core. Lagos risks collapsing under the weight of its own inequality. There are voices calling for change. Urban planners argue that Lagos needs a robust affordable housing policy, not just luxury developments. Civil society groups push for tenant rights, rent control, and community-driven planning.
There is no organizer on job, there is no mechanic, all of them have gone to join agents. All of them now do agents. People that knows about it and doesn't know about it, they have gone to join. No more.
I would like want to rent a house of 1 million naira. They're telling me agreement 300, commission 300, caution fee 100,000, damages 100,000 for what? That is too alarming. It's killing. So we urge government to just please help us attend to this matter. It's just help. We don't want agents.
Some experiments, like the Lagos State Rent-to-Own scheme, have tried to bridge the gap, allowing residents to pay for homes in monthly installments. But with demand so high and corruption so entrenched, the impact has been minimal. For now, the future feels uncertain. Will Lagos continue on its path, a glittering megacity for the few, or can it reinvent itself as a livable city for the many? Kemi still dreams of one day owning a modest home close to her school. Ademola hopes his children won't have to leave Lagos just to survive. Their stories echo across the city, reminders that behind every statistic are human lives, human struggles, and human hopes. Lagos is often described as a city of hustlers, where resilience defines its people. But resilience has limits. When rent consumes half a family's income, when commutes steal away hours of life, when culture is bulldozed in the name of progress, how much resilience can a city demand before it breaks? The question remains urgent and unresolved. Can Lagos still belong to Lagosians? Or will the future of Africa's largest city be written without its own people? Thank you for watching. If you found this story eye-opening, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories about Lagos, life, and the struggles we all face. See you in the next one.